Hey guys, it's Hunter Knight with my next custom project, the Earthrise Megatron figure. But wait, why would I customize this thing? The reason is one that has plagued Transformers collectors since Cybertron fell at the hands of the Decepticons. Photo degradation. Yes. Wait, but what the hell is this? Photo degradation is also known as yellowing, a problem that happens when white, silver, or gray plastic turns yellow within a long time. This process affects plastics of all colors, including blue plastic, which when it photodegrades turns into green. In this case, it's called greening. Now, several factors have been attributed to this, but none can conclusively determine what exactly causes it. Exposure to sun, exposure to ultraviolet light, gamma rays, religion, nobody can exactly say what causes it, since some figures experience this while still in package in dark storage. Now, several methods claim to fix this problem, and the Transformers community has been very active in this matter. From hydrogen peroxide, sun exposure, to recently using retrobrite, the fact is that even after using this method successfully, the yellowing has always returned. Now, if you have the patience and attention span of a saint and don't fall asleep easily, the YouTube channel Hey Bird did a very extensive scientific research on retrobrite with very cool tests and results. I have linked his video in the description, but I warn you, if you don't like chemistry, you won't enjoy it. It gets super technical, like super technical. Yellowing usually happened over a long period of time, but on some Transformers figures it has started to happen in mere months. It all started in 2018 when Hasbro switched manufacturing to Vietnam. After that, the COVID lockdown a few years later when Hasbro couldn't travel for quality control, and now we have entire collections starting to look so bad you'd think I got them in a Chernobyl garage sale. It has started to happen to some of my own figures. Here's RC from Cyberbears. This used to be pink. My Cyclonus has started to get cosmic rust. And here are other examples that I got from across the web, which are honestly heartbreaking. Now, what can we do about this? Nothing! Just like the passage of time, this is inevitable. We are condemned to see our figures age like milk in a sauna. Just look at some of my beloved Joes from my childhood. I mean, I can't bear to watch anymore. It's worth mentioning that photo degradation affects some figures differently. It all depends on what batch of plastic you got, and that's the reason why some figures experience this degradation faster than others. It also does not affect the structural integrity of some of the figures, kinda. Unlike the gold syndrome plastic that made Hasbro figures and Transformers from the 80s and 90s crumble to pieces. As a customizer, fixing this to me is kinda simple. Just repaint the damn thing. That's it.
Move this man!
Now, this discoloration is happening on so-called unpaintable plastic, and yes, it's unpaintable for toy companies. Not us customizers. Companies have to adhere to strict testing and durability standards while staying within crippling budget constraints. This is basically the driving force behind customization and third-party figures. As such, here is my Earthrise Megatron. He was the most egregious discolored figure in my entire collection. He degraded faster than your ex-girlfriend after a breakup. Now, I have no pictures of how he looked before. Yeah, that's kind of my fault. Yeah, sorry. Except these parts on his shoulders, I left them as they were on purpose since they are not visible. But here are some examples I got from eBay of exactly what my Megatron looked like before. It's like a plague. I even got a picture of a Megatron being offered in package, completely photo degraded. And it's sold. I mean, kudos to the seller. Get that back, boy. Now, to fix your Megatron, you'll need acrylic paints. Please, do not buy enamels. They are designed to work on polystyrene, the materials most model cars, miniatures, and planes are made of. Transformers are mostly made of ABS, and enamels do not stick to ABS. They never fully dry and end up sticky. The following are the paints I used. Citadel's Administratum Gray, yeah, that's how they pronounce Administratum, okay. Cover the upper legs and yellow joints. It's the closest color to the stock gray you'll find, without having to mix and color match, which any customizer knows, it's the worst nightmare you can have. Color matching is just hell. I used to charge a lot, like a lot. This is just to fix the yellowing gray parts and leave Megatron as vanilla as possible, but if you want to elevate your collection by improving your figure and having the most unique Megatron, here are some extras you can add. Come on, let's raise up the megs. Natural steel from AK Interactive. I use this for the face and rivets in tank mode. Megatron's face comes painted in a very budgeted way. I'm used to his face being like one solid color, not just like a speckle or a dry brush. Come on. Citadel's Evil Sun Scarlet and Troll's Air Orange. I used this color combination to improve his eyes, which looked kind of bad. I also painted the size of Megatron's abs since they came unpainted. I mean, like, what the hell, for real? Vallejo Black from their game color line for all the black parts and the eye contour. Citadel's Spirit Stone Red for the square in his ab and the headlights in tank mode. Finally, the paneling was done using a super thinned down version of Citadel's Storm Vermin Fur in 3 parts of Lamian Medium. This means 3 drops of Lamian by 1 of Storm Vermin Fur. And yeah, these Citadel names are making me feel like I'm about to summon a freaking IKEA devil. I hate them. If you don't have Lamian, you can use distilled water. I went ham on this. Once I start paneling, I can't freaking stop. That's why I stay far the hell away from Gundam models. I panel the back of the sword. This part here the nobody's gonna see. Arms, chest, legs, feet, the cannon, etc. Now to apply the paint, you need to always thin it down. Use 2 drops of paint per 2 of distilled water. Do not use tap water. Tap water has minerals and chemicals that will ruin the finish. Build the color in coats. Do not try to cover the whole thing in one pass. That is what rookies do, and it's a big tell that you have no experience in customization. Paint is built in layers, not in one pass. Let it dry naturally for around like 10 minutes between coats. At most, apply 3 coats. Once you're finished, you can use a brush-on sealer, but this step is not necessary. It's just to even out the gloss of the figure, like it won't protect the paint from chipping. That is a myth. I use Farbloss Matte Clear from Rebel's Aquacolor line, but thin this sucker down. It's extremely thick, like really thick. I usually thin it with AK's acrylic thinner or Citadel's Lamian in a 3:1 proportion. 3 parts diluter, 1 part of Farbloss Matte. Let it dry for an hour before transforming or handling. And there you go. If you are feeling extra, you can paint these parts like in full black. In case you want to get rid of that silly Hasbro battle damage, you could also paint the wheels in the tank and you know, add some mud and dirt to make it look much more realistic. I mean, once you start, the possibilities are endless. I had to stop myself because this was supposed to be like a quick project. I can only hope that the upcoming Studio Series Megatron is much more durable and that the problems that this one had are a thing of the past. If not, I will always have my beloved masterpiece 36am Megatron. He has never let me down. For Hunter Knight Customs, this is Hunter Knight, signing out.
Impressive.